Hello, my name is James Young. We have a very exciting show for you today. We have a filmmaker. Well, he does everything. He's a filmmaker, he's a producer, he wrote the script. He's gone out and found budding stars to play in the movie. And the name of the movie is called I Won. And without further ado, I'd like to get right into this. Let me introduce to you Levon. We call him Levon Jones. Please, I introduce Mr. Jones to you.
Hey, thanks. Thank you.
Let's jump right into this, as I mentioned earlier, and let's talk about you're 9 years old, you're in the fourth grade. Set this whole scenario up for us.
Okay, when I was young, I knew I was going to be an artist when I was young. Even my mother told me that, that was my calling because I was always drawing, like things like other people. Like TV wasn't a big issue to me. Like I would be drawing while my brothers and I would be fighting over who's going to watch what. And drawing kept me occupied because it was like a time where there wasn't video games and we didn't have like Game Boys and all of that type of stuff. So we had to entertain ourselves. But drawing was just like something that it was like my way of freedom, my expression. So that's the one thing that made me stand out because there wasn't other things that I wasn't picked. I was a dark-skinned kid, so I never raised my hand. I never got picked. I never got to pass out the cookies or nothing like that. But I would always just be drawing on my desk all the time. So one day, in the year of 1973, the teacher Mary Shank at number 20 school announced that there was going to be a contest for a building and a restaurant. So, and it was for all city school district. It wasn't just for my school or just for my class.
So this was a contest throughout the school district, not just this one particular school, but throughout the entire school district.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was throughout the city school district. So that day I was just so elated because then it was finally something that that I could stand out with what I did. It piqued my interest because school really wasn't interest to me because a lot of the stories I didn't see myself in the stories Cinderella and all of that. So I would be busy just daydreaming, looking out the window. So, but that day I was very, very elated that this was something that I would be able to excel in. Because I knew I was a better drawer than all the kids in the classroom because I would see their little scribbles and stuff like that, and then they would see my stuff and they was like, yeah, you could draw. So, we got that yellow. She gave us this yellow, that yellow paper that used to draw on back when you was little, that thick paper. So she passed that out, and everybody got one. So I went home that day, and everybody in my house, it's like all the commotion going on. I can remember like it was yesterday, and just putting my stuff, newspaper, getting my stepfather the newspaper, putting it down on the floor, and just putting my paper down, and just started drawing. When I started, it had to be I could just see everybody just the house, just all the noise and the commotion. Then all of a sudden I was the last one. I knew all the kids was gonna do square, so I was just it was 1973 and Burger King, Carol's had just changed to Burger King. You had McDonald's with the clown, then you had Where's the Beef with Wendy's. So my whole thing was burger restaurant and building. So I'm gonna put the burger on top of the building and put the elevator up to the hamburger. And when I drew the drawing on the paper, I didn't use pencil. I used all pens, so I could make no mistakes. So I used books to make all my lines straight, make sure all my lines was perfect. I must have ran out about maybe 6 pens, all the black ink out of the pens, drawing in the windows and putting all the lines in. And then the final was the hamburger. I used certain things that had certain shapes to make the shape of the burger from the top, to make the top bun and the bottom buns, and then I do the lines all the way in the window. And when I seen it, I was like, wow, it's like I'm an artist.
I want to stop right there because I want to try to really paint this picture so the audience really sees what it is that you're putting together for us. When you're in school
Hmm.
and you're not interested in the basic topics or the subjects that are basically in school because you didn't feel that they related to you.
Yeah.
Then, with the opportunity of this contest, this now, I'm assuming for the first time that now you're elated because here's something that you can do that you can flourish in because of the way, because this is your art, this is your passion. They've tapped now into what you enjoy doing. What are the emotional thoughts as I'm listening to you? You're telling me how you meticulously drew these lines straight, made
Mm.
circles with different objects that you had.
Hmm.
What was the emotional state that you were going? Did you think that you were going to win, or did you
Oh.
know that you were going to win?
No, I didn't. I didn't think I was gonna win. I didn't think I had a chance because, like, first of all, I thought because I was black that they wasn't gonna pick me. Not, just being like a dark-skinned black kid, being a black boy, that, like, I was also alienated in a lot of things where I would raise my hand, or I would be like trying to like be helpful or to be picked, and that's one thing that I learned as I got older in life. That's why I became a director, because like to be on the other side of the camera, pick me, and all the time people are not really gonna pick you. So I decided to get on the other side of the camera. But that day, I didn't really think I was gonna win. I didn't even think I had a chance. But the one thing that just elated me, that like I started something and I finished it. I didn't have to have nobody like tell me to do. I did it out of my imagination. I did it for my drive, for my passion of art, and I was just pleased that, like, looking at my work of something that was sublime to me.
So you completed the work that night,
Hmm.
and you took it to school the next day.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Okay. So when I took the work back to school the next day, I handed in the work, and it was just back to business as usual, back to school business.
How long did it take? Because I'm assuming that if there must have been at least a few hundred, if not thousands,
Yeah.
of students participating in this contest. How long did it take before they let the schools know who the winner was?
I want to say it had to be like maybe like a good 3 to 4, 5, maybe 4 weeks,
Okay.
something like that. Because all I remember is just one day, like being in class, and then the teacher making an announcement that I had won.
Okay, yeah, tell us about that. That had to be exciting.
Oh yeah, it's just I was numb. It's just like what did I win? Like, it's like I figured that I had won, and then like I'm thinking that like the newspaper is gonna be there, and I'm gonna be on the news. I'm gonna be in the World Book of Guinness, or just like I thought I was gonna get like all these praises and stuff like that. And then after she announced that I won, it was like right back to business again, right back to school, right back to the lesson, and that was it.
When you won, what was stipulated to this contest?
Uh, what the announcement, just like when she made the announcement, I forgot to say that with the announcement, the prize was a free trip to the grand opening of Burger King in Midtown Plaza.
Okay.
Because Carol's had just had changed to Burger King, and the grand opening of the one in Midtown was about to open, and that was in 1973.
Okay.
So like I was the first one to go to eat at Burger King, but it wasn't like I didn't feel like it was like I was elated. Because my whole thing was that like my mother took us to Burger King, Carol's, all the time. Every time we used to go to dinners, my mother used to take us to Carol's on West Main. So it wasn't like that was just a big deal. Like,
So basically, what it was, winning the contest was greater than the actual prize.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, just completing, seeing that my artwork, that's something that I made.
Now, you've won the contest. What happened to the artwork?
Uh, just like okay, when I was young, I used to always see the contests where like if you send the artwork, they always stipulate that you're not gonna get the work back. But through City School District, it wasn't like they said that anything about they was going to return the artwork. But I asked them like when I won the contest and like when I figured out what the only prize was Burger King, and I didn't get no newspaper coverage, I was trying to tell them that I wanted my artwork back.
Okay. Also, when they started this contest, did they stipulate whatever drawing won the contest that either part of it or all of it would be used as part of the design for an upcoming building?
Yeah, cause see, what makes it so ironic is that like I won. So like, what proves that I won is like what I drew, and the reason why I won is because of what I drew.
Okay, now let's go up a little further. You've won the contest.
Hmm.
After that, the painting's gone, the artwork is gone.
Yeah.
Now, when was the next time that you actually noticed this building and, if you will, the little hamburger on top? When did that come to your? When did you realize that?
Okay. First of all, before that happened, I was taking the Burger King, which was my prize, and that didn't go very well because like the whole time I was in there, I was just bawling my eyes out, and the teacher Miss Buckner was wondering like, why are you crying? Like, what's wrong? I'm like, I want my drawing back. I'm like, this is all I get is a trip to Burger King? And she was like, you know how these people are, like, so then that gave me a little bit more room to like try to like figure out what had happened. And then like the next thing was that I was invited to the teacher's house for a barbecue. It was my first time going to somebody's house who had a swimming pool. So like that was, but still it didn't do no avail because I felt that like, I wanted my drawing back. So, and then after that, 1976 was the grand opening of the building, and I heard the announcement on the WDKX, and I'm listening for my name, and I'm thinking I'm going to hear my name, and they're going to announce me, and I'm going to get an invite to the grand opening. And 76, they had the grand opening for the building, and no invite. I wasn't invited, not mentioned or anything.
Were the architects aware of this contest?
See, that I wouldn't know because I was only 9 years old. I didn't have information. I just recently found out who the architects are, who are taking credit for the building.
Okay, so let's now really bring this up. The school district, not just this class, but the school district, and one can only assume that apparently they must have gotten in touch with the potential owners of this building and told them that they're going to do a contest school board wide, city wide, and that the students know that they're going to give you their artist conception of what this building should look like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're at that point. You won, the artwork is gone. Now the building has been constructed.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're saying, no one has ever mentioned you whatsoever. Where did you go from there? Okay, now bring us up to date, and now tell us what it is that you're trying to. Before we tell us about you trying to find the architects, the results that you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. The architects. When you look up the architects of. Okay, for the history of that building, no one's never came forth and said that I'm the architect of that building. A building of that design and of that uniqueness, someone would be like, yo, taking the credit for it. Somebody would have their name on it. But like you never heard anyone take credit or who you never, when they, in the newspaper, if you look up, you'll never see any body's face or any name connected except for this fictitious architect form, Corgan, Ballister, and Leeper. If you Google CHANGNG SCENE RESTAURANT architect, you go see Corgan, Ballister, and Leeper. And if you try to find a location for them, it says that they're active in the Architect Emporium, but they only have one design to their credit. They have no other design to their credit, and then you won't find no location, no number, or anything. It's just almost like they're a fictitious company.
So what we have is this company that somehow got your drawing, did the architectural structuring for it on paper, built the building, and therefore, was your name on the artwork?
Yeah.
In other words, what I'm trying to establish, so when the school board gave this, if this is the way it happened, however they got the artwork, didn't the school board realize that you were a minor?
That's like the one thing that like I didn't understand, because like it seemed like they made it seem like as if this was something like as an activity that was through the school, as like this was regular school business, because like my mother didn't sign for anything. I mean, my mother didn't even sign when when they took me to Burger King for the trip.
So this, for the most part, it seems like that this was out of protocol
of the
way
so.
that the school district does or promotes contests.
Very much so. And then for them not to have any record, it's just as if like they made a deal with the person who the first owners of the building. And that's another thing. You can Google the first owners of the building. They won't give no name.
So after all this effort, you've gone to the building. You try to research the architects, and everything keeps coming up blank.
Yeah, it's as if like it was set up in design. It's just like they had no intention of giving me credit. Once they got the artwork and once they built the design, it was just like push me aside and just forget about me.
When did you begin taking up this fight and now making a concerted effort of now trying to get some justice for what you feel is unjust to you?
First of all, when I was 9 years old, I did not consent to like giving my intellectual property to them, because like I didn't feel that was a fair deal. I felt that if they would have gave me a bicycle or toys or something like that, I think I would have probably looked the other way and I never thought about it. But like just a trip to Burger King for artwork for a building, like at the age of 9, I knew that was like,
Okay.
Yeah, I felt that like, if I would have been like a white kid, I would have got scholarship. I would have got like, people would have really been invested in my my genius at a young age.
When putting together the idea for this movie, I Won, what is the basic message that you want the viewing audience to come away with? What is, are you doing the movie because you're angry? Are you doing the movie for exposure?
Not somebody who just wakes up one day and just makes up some kind of crazy story, And I feel that it's very disingenuous that someone would do that to a child and then leave him with the burden of proof when he gets an adult to prove something that he won. And like, what is, like I say, right through the city school district, it wasn't like it was a random contest. These are people that I trusted. It's like my mother always told me to like stay in school and go to school because she had third grade education. She came from Mississippi and picked cotton. So like she couldn't go to school. So my whole thing was that like, I'm gonna like right the wrong for you. I'm gonna make sure that I go to school. You're not gonna have no trouble out of me. I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna do good. And then when I find out something like that happens to that magnitude, it really made me like let her know that like, you're not missing anything, because you have more intelligent with mother wit and your will to survive raising poor boys than any college or any school could teach you. So, but like she always felt that like, with her not having education, that like, she was not suffice. But like I say, you made me, and like, I'm good. That's like I say, I'm not bitter. This is not out of anger, because if if I really expressed myself the way I really felt, I'd be like, an angry black man, and I don't want people to look at me like that. Look at me like that. I want them to look at me as someone who is exceptional in the art, because all my friends that know me in Rochester, and like I say, I spent majority. I graduated from high school. I've done martial art, went and fought tournaments in Canada, brought back 36 trophies for Rochester. I've done a lot of stuff for this place, so like, my credibility as an artist is never to be questioned, because anybody in Rochester will tell you that know me. So, but like Father's Rights with this, I just want people to know from this film that like, pay attention to what's going on with your kids. And there's just because you send them to school don't mean that they're in a safe place.
And I also would think, just to add on to that, I think parents need to understand that from what you're describing to us, a contest was told to young people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, naturally, that starts a little of excitement, and perhaps maybe the children would be so excited and perhaps wouldn't tell them. We have a firm that wants to use whoever wins.
Yeah,
they may use
none of
that.
None of that
was done.
None of that was done, because see, like I say, I was 9 years old, and I know none of that was done, because like a lot of the stuff, I was in the 4th grade. I would fill out stuff for my mother, and I would like read stuff for my mother.
Mm-hmm.
So I know none of that happened, and that's what, like I say, the whole thing about it. At 9 years old, I knew it was bogus. And like I say, and I did not just consent. I wasn't just like go to Burger King and I'm happy and do. I was just like letting them know that emotionally I was distraught, and it affected my schooling, my grades, everything. And then like when I went to East High School, my major was art. Like my work was in showcase every year, Mr. Berry. I have my peers tell you, out of all the artists at East High School, I was one of the best.
Now, from that point, what is it that you're seeking? Where do you go from here? Okay, now we know how all of this came about. How do you rectify this?
How I rectify this is with the film that I'm doing, I Won, because like I say, I want people to know that when you look at that building, a 9-year-old black kid designed that building. I'm making a claim against City School District, the architects, and I'm still question mark of who the first owners of the building. I'm finding that's so hard to find that information, and that shouldn't be that hard to find out, because I know a lot of people know that this has got really messy, because they should have came forth and said something.
And there's no deed. There's no name on the deed of who owns the building?
I have the deed, but like, they write it back then, 73, so chicken scratch and all this.
Okay.
It's hard to like read it, but I have someone who's supposed to be reading it, and what I'm going to do is just go to the city records and have them read it.
The process now of starting legal litigation, have you had any retribution? Has anybody tried to stop you from doing